Hi guys, welcome to Software Jobs Training, and we are on week 4 now. In this session we are going to cover about conditional statements. So conditional statements are generally used when you need to execute a certain block only when a criteria is actually met. Okay, so for example, you actually want to execute a code when the variable age is greater than 30. Okay, so in this scenario you will have to use an if-else block, okay, which is known as a conditional statement. Okay, so let us have a look at this example in our sample code. So here we have a variable that is x and has a value of 10, and then we have multiplied the x into 5, so our output will be, our x variable will be equal to 50. Okay, so I need to execute a certain code only when my x is actually equal to 50. Okay, so I've written that if x is equal to 50, remember that this double equals to sign is actually a comparison operator. Okay, so if x is equal to 50, then show an alert message that our variable x is now equal to 50. Okay, so I'm going to run this code, and you will see an alert message that our x variable is equal to 50. Okay, so this if block will only execute when this criteria will be met. Okay, so this criteria, we need to write the statement inside the parentheses. Okay, so as we have already discussed this, that our main condition is actually written in this if statement. Okay, so it is going to check that if this particular criteria, so I'm going to write my condition over here. If this is met, then this code will actually execute, otherwise it will not execute. Okay, so let me just make it this x is equal to 5. Okay, so now if we multiply 5 into 5, that becomes 25. So x is not is equal to 50. So this means that this complete if block is not true, or criteria is not being met, right? So this should not execute now. So let me just try to run this, and as you can see that no output comes, because this code will only execute when our value of x will be is equal to 10. And if I try to run this again, and this time the value of the x is equal to 50, so you can see the output on the screen. So this is the basic of conditional statements, that first you need to put the if block and then write the condition. This will only execute if the condition is actually meeting up the criteria, otherwise it will not run. Okay, alright, so you can also write the if else block. Okay, so in case that this section actually does not work, okay, so if your if section, the criteria is not being met, otherwise it will run this code. Okay, so if the value of x is equal to 50, then it will show this output, otherwise it is going to show up the second output, the else section. Okay, so if the value will be is equal to 50, then it will say that our variable is equal to 50, otherwise it will say that x is not equal to 50. Okay, so remember that either one of them will run. If your criteria is met, then this section will be executed, otherwise the else section will be executed. Okay, so let us just go to the live editor and try to code this up. Okay, so let me just go ahead and create a new file. Let me just name it as conditions.html. First of all, we'll start writing up with the HTML structure. So I'll put a title. Okay, so we do not need the body tag. I'll just start up with writing the script. Type is equal to text/JavaScript, Okay, so let's just start writing a variable that has value. Okay, so I'm storing an age of a person, so the age is 30. Okay, so I'm going to write a code that will actually show an output that if the age of the person is actually greater than 50, then it will say that you are a senior citizen. Otherwise it will say that you are not a senior citizen. Okay, so if age is greater than or equal to 50, okay, so this is the if condition, and if this criteria is met, then I'm going to show an output that in the else section I'm going to write the okay, so very simple. Currently the age of the person is actually 30, so this if section will not be executed, it will go to the else part. Okay, so let me just save this up and try to run this. Okay, so as you can see the output that it says that not a senior citizen because the age is actually less than 50. Okay, alright, so the age is we have the criteria written on the age greater than 50, so let us just make this age variable 65. So now this if section will be executed because age is actually greater than 50. So save this up, and you can see that output is being the code inside the if block is running. Okay, so make sure you put your code inside these curly braces. Okay, so this is the if block and this is the else block, and either one of them will be executed depending on the conditions. Okay, alright, so sometimes you just you cannot only depend on the if section. Okay, so you need to put in multiple conditions. Alright, for that you can put the if else type of conditions. Okay, so let me just show this up using an example. Alright, so here we have the variable that says today, and I've written a string that says Friday. Okay, so this is going to check that if the today variable is actually equals to Monday, then it should say that today is the first day of the week. Okay, but you need to put more if conditions in that. So for that you can just put else if condition. Okay, so for else if you can check for Wednesday, and similarly another else if for Thursday, another else if for Friday. Okay, so in this way you can put multiple conditions, so there's no limit that you can have as many else if conditions as you want. Okay, but make sure that at the end of this else if condition you always have this else condition. So if all these ifs and else ifs are not being satisfied, then the else part will run. Okay, so this section will run only when the if or else if section is not being running. Okay, so let us come back to our age program. Okay, so we were calculating that if the age is greater than 50, then it should say that you are a senior citizen. Alright, and then we actually want to show that if the age is actually between 20 and 50, then it should show a different output. Okay, so I can put an, let me just get rid of this else section. Okay, so the if section will actually remain same, and on the second part I can say that else if your age is greater than 20 and age is less than 50, okay, then it should say that you are an adult. Okay, So first of all, it will check that if your age is greater than 50, then it will show that you are a senior citizen. Else if otherwise, if your age is greater than 20 and less than 50, okay, so if you're between this range 20 to 50, I'll put an and symbol to the logical operator. So if you're between 20 and 50, then it is going to say that you're an adult, okay. Else, so this else section means that your age is actually smaller than 20, okay. So in this else section, you can just write a message that says you can basically write any text over here. So on 65 we have already tested that this if section will be executed because the age is actually greater than 50, okay. So let me just make it 35 and save this up. Okay, so in this way our if section will not work, but my code is actually going into the else if section. So the age was 35, that is greater than 20 and less than 50, so it says that you're an adult, okay. So in this way this if else section works, okay. So it's very simple. It gives you a lot of control, so you can have as many else if conditions as you want, okay. So very good. On the slide number 5 we have the switch statements that are very similar to the conditional statement, that if else statements, okay. So very similar, just the syntax is a little different, okay. So here we have a variable that we need to check, okay. So the favorite color is white. In the switch section, first of all you'll have to start the parenthesis, and then you need to put your variable in. And over here we do not have the if sections, okay. So here we have cases. So here case is, first one is red, and then you put a colon, and then you can just write the display that you write the output that you need to display, and then you break this up, okay. So this is like an if section, and this is another if section. So we can have one more, like if the case is green, put a colon, write the code that you need to display, and then make sure you put the break keyword up here. This is important for the switch statements, okay. And then you can just have the default in case any of these cases does not work. So this is like the else part. You do not need to write the break statement for this, okay. So very simple and easy. On the slide number 6 you will find a skill assessment, so I will leave this up to you. I'm going to skip. Alright, so this will actually bring us to the end of this video. So thank you.